This is Not So Zen, a podcast where we talk about real life, real mess, and real transformation. Join two friends, Melissa, a lawyer known as the Advocator, and Alia, a Reiki master known as the Healer, while they have real, honest, raw conversations about the not so zen parts of life and the quest for healing without the fluff. Well, maybe a little bit of fluff. Hi, and welcome to episode 3 of Not So Zen, straight from the porch.
Straight from the porch where the idea of the podcast was conceived. So
About 3 weeks ago. Maybe 4.
yeah. No.
I think it was
She's
3.
right. 3 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
3
3
weeks ago.
weeks ago was us sitting on the porch at 10 o'clock at night. Her porch.
Oh, deja vu.
Right?
Here we are again
I know.
at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Which will lead us into my not so zen moment that I'm going to share to start episode 3. Because Melissa was gone on a business trip all week in Miami. And so we could have recorded while you were in Miami and I was here in Delco.
Yeah, my schedule was a little hectic though.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been hard.
Very, yes. So all that to say, the Not So Zen garden, the rock garden that's in my side yard, inspired us on this not so Zen way of life.
The premise.
Yes. And then we didn't realize when we were sitting here that Monday night 3 weeks ago, and we were like,
let's start a podcast.
Why are we not talking about this? Like, let's share the not so Zen moments, because there's always a way to take a not so Zen moment in your day, in your life. And it's hard to transmute it or reframe it.
It is hard,
Yeah,
especially in the moment. Do you want to tell everybody about your not so Zen moment that literally happened like, I don't know,
2 hours ago?
Yeah, only a couple of hours ago.
Sure.
Because Alia was kind enough to come and pick me up at the airport today in the middle of the Eagles game, which is really hard when there's an Eagles game going on to find anybody willing to pick you up at the airport, but she did.
I was happy to do it, beyond happy. And so now I'm going to share this not so Zen, and then these moments might sound negative that we're sharing, but really there's a positive that spins from this negative not so Zen moment. So I'm sitting and Melissa was going to get in early. She's like, oh my God, I'm getting in a half hour early. So then I'm like, I'll wait 8 minutes and then I'll leave my house.
She was like, perfect timing.
Perfect. So I even waited a little longer because this is what I do, right? So it might have been 11 or 12 minutes.
Like, I'm leaving now. I'm leaving now, I swear.
15 minutes later.
White lie.
Yes, white lie, but we don't
It's
do
okay.
those anymore. However, I'm sitting in the on like a sideline of the arrivals for the Philadelphia airport. Me, another.
Wait, were you in the like cell phone waiting lot, or were you just like pulled over on the side of the road? Yeah. That's over. Like, if you know, you don't go to the cell phone lot, you just pull over.
Well, the cell phone lot in the Philadelphia airport, you have to like swirl and turn and swirl, and it's like a whole thing.
Do you want to know a secret?
Sure.
I don't even know how to get into a cell phone lot. I've never even done it.
Well, as the universe would say, follow the signs.
That probably would help.
But nobody wants to land in the cell phone lot, so
it's where the dead bodies are buried.
Yeah, it's where. Yeah, well, let's pull back for a second here. So, okay. So the whole point of this not so Zen moment is that she ends up getting delayed because they got in early, and someone somewhere along American Airlines did not assign the appropriate gate.
Yeah, it might have been because we got in early. I don't know. We were sitting there forever. And everybody's panicking because we're all trying to watch the freaking Eagles game on the plane.
And there was, at this point, it was 7 p.m.-ish at night. So the Eagles game had 4 minutes left in the game?
Yeah, it was 4 minutes. We were down by KC. 3. No, we were up by only 3.
Yeah, it was tight.
I was very stressful.
KC was running the ball. It was, yeah. Okay. First world problems, right? So Melissa is finally like, okay, we're at the gate. I'm deplaning. And I love how you use that like appropriate wording.
Deplaning.
So I waited another few minutes and then I decided to start moving. But while I was waiting, it had to have been 30, 40 minutes. The sunset in the background was epic. Yeah. Unbelievable.
You were texting me pictures of the sunset. All right, I'm getting off the plane. Ollie is sending me gorgeous pictures of the sunset saying, get out here, you're missing this. I was like running.
I know, I feel
to try and get to the sunset.
I had this visual and I was hoping it would not happen to her, but I had this visual of her like tripping at some point, like, because you have to go down an escalator to get down into the arrival section.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
Oh, no. Add another not so zen moment. I did not want that to happen, but all that to say, I can only see the sun set from the side mirror. So it was behind me. So unless I like got out of my car or looked out and took my camera, but I was taking pictures of the sun going down through the side mirror.
Yeah.
On the driver's side.
It was really gorgeous. We'll have to post a picture of it.
Definitely. Actually. So then I go and I scoot in to pick up Melissa, and it sounded like she was really close in terminal C.
I was coming down the escalator.
Yeah. Now I'm from Chicago and I've lived here 17 years. So in Chicago at O'Hare Airport, there is no waiting. You're not allowed to wait for someone to pick up someone at the airport. You cannot. They will whistle and yell at you until you are dead. Like they're like, you cannot wait. You're going to jail if you sit here and wait for your arrival for your person.
Going to jail.
I have lived in Philly for 17 years. Never. I have to be honest. I've done a lot of airport pickups. I have never experienced an actual whistle.
Yeah, but have you ever been early to an airport pickup?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Philly's been like, obviously O'Hare is a bigger airport than Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But let me bring it back. Let me close this whole not so zen moment, right? So I pull up after waiting, experience the great sunset. Melissa's not quite down the escalator and the whistle is blowing. My window is down. And I got so triggered by this man just doing his job at the airport.
I think it might have been the whistle because he was blowing a whistle at you.
He was. And then he came to my window and he was like, you're going to have to move. You cannot wait here. And mind you, he's telling like 7 other cars and they all scoot off. No, not me. Not me. I looked at him and I go, I'm sorry. It's not my fault that someone landed early. An American could not communicate with one another and find a gate in the Philadelphia airport. It's not my fault. Because if you have to swirl around the Philadelphia airport in order to go circle back around, that takes at least 10 minutes. That is no exaggeration.
At least.
Those who know Philadelphia airport, the circle to make it back to the terminal for pickup is ridiculous. So I just said to him, I'm like, I can't move. And he just looked at me and he was like, this woman got some problems. And he's like, I know, I hear you.
Actually, when you told me that they were going to make you have to circle and I was like on the escalator, I started running. I was like, no, I'm coming. Please don't circle. Because I knew if she circled, it was going to be another at least 10 or maybe 15 minutes. And I literally was like 3 minutes to the door. I'm like running. I'm like, no, I'm telling him I'm coming.
But who does that? Like, who says to the gentleman, I'm not moving. This is an American problem. American Airlines problem. Like, who does that?
I mean, it's definitely the first time he's heard that.
So what I'm trying to, like, we're really drilling this story in, but really, like,
happened.
But interestingly enough, it's like, why are we conforming? Is how I felt. I'm like, I'm just being, there was a, like it's blowing and telling me to move. Why do I have to move when it's not my problem? I'm just here to pick up my best friend at the airport. I didn't do anything wrong. What am I doing wrong? Why do I have to feel like I'm the one doing something wrong?
I think we were all trying to do right. Like I was trying to do right by getting to you efficiently.
Well, I was doing right.
You were doing right by
he was doing right by doing his job.
Yeah. But we were all made to feel like we were doing wrong in the moment.
So I moved really slow. Melissa ended up coming out. He's like lingering behind my car.
I almost got hit by a bus.
Watching.
Did you see that?
I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't going to because you were smart and we knew you weren't going to get hit by a bus. But it's amazing how this man in the yellow vest made us both feel inadequate about what we were trying to do in our life. We were just trying to go home. That's it.
I know. We're just trying to
And
get home. So instead, we went to the bar and had a glass of wine.
We did. Because we
Good.
also had a lot to catch up on from the week ahead. And so my not so zen moment was picking up at the airport and the whistleblower.
The whistleblower.
And who knew? So I said to Melissa, I go, that was quite interesting. I could have never predicted that a whistleblower would have triggered me in the way it did on Sunday night. And the Eagles did win, which is hooray. Yay, go Eagles.
Go Eagles. Yay.
So now I'm going to kick it off to Melissa because, of course, she has her not so zen moment. It's good.
I know. But I don't actually remember what we said it was going to be.
The pie moment?
Oh, that's right. Okay, so I was away for a work thing, and I was at an event. We're at this massive dinner. There's like, I don't know. There's probably like 50 some people at this dinner. We're all at like tables of 10.
This is a legal event she's referring
It's a legal event. There's a lot of like lawyers there. There's a lot of political people there. So I'm at a table. It's like a table of 10 people. I don't know these people. I'm meeting them for the first time. When I sit down, we all introduce ourselves and we all eat dinner together. So I have dinner. It's like the first course, second course, and then the last course is dessert. So in between the main meal and dessert, I get up and leave to go to the bathroom. So like I said, it's a big room. There's tons of tables. It's like 10 people a table. Everybody's milling around because it's between the like main meal and dessert. So I come back to my table after using the bathroom and there's somebody in my seat. So I'm like, that's fine. I'll just sit here. And so I sit in a different seat and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Is this your seat? And I was like, yeah. I was like, but that's fine. I was like, and they had served dessert in the interim and he was eating my pie. That was my pie. It was supposed to be my dessert. It was my pie. Whatever.
Key lime down in Miami. I mean, you don't want to miss that.
And it was at Joe's and apparently they have like a famous key lime pie and
Joe's crap.
Yeah. Yeah. In South Beach. So I was like, no. I was like, I don't want dessert. Like, I don't need dessert. I don't want dessert. He's like, I'll go get you pie. Let me go get you pie.
And he was a very influential person, to be completely honest.
Very. So he does. He gets up from the table. He tracks down some pie. Lord, he probably stole it from somebody else. Probably. I mean, where did it come from? Tracks down pie, gives me the pie, but I have no utensils. He's like, I guess you want a fork. I was like, I don't even want pie. So proceeds to like give me a pie and a spoon. It was very nice. It was very kind.
The spoon part is my favorite.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm not going to eat it. I ate the whole thing with the spoon.
I literally, like, when you were like, so he stole my pie, but he didn't mean to steal my pie. But then I didn't want the pie. But then he went to find the pie.
And I ate the pie.
But then she didn't have a fork. So he's like, do you want a spoon for the pie? And she's like, I don't want the pie.
And I proceeded to eat the whole pie with a spoon.
So we have whistleblowers and pie stealers.
But you know what are your really funny parts of the story?
Please.
So after the dinner, we all go back and there's like a reception at the hotel. Then somebody's like, oh, why don't you, I'm giving a speech for somebody in this other part of the hotel.
Because it's Thompson Brand.
So I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll come up there. So of course I looked to see who the speech is being given for. I'm like, that's the pie thief. He stole my pie.
Of course.
Random.
Of course.
Totally random.
Synchronicity? Probably.
I mean, it was a lot of people at that event. To be invited to the event that somebody was giving a speech at for the person who stole my pie.
Who also then felt so bad they got up. And I mean, when we say influential, we're talking like pretty important people here.
It was funny.
It was, I would say when you shared that story with me, I'm like, well, that's not so fucking zen.
No, it wasn't.
Mm-hmm. So we go.
There we go. So
pie stealers and whistleblowers.
Pie stealers and whistleblowers. Eek. All right. So we wanted to talk because we've talked about like different, last episode we talked about Reiki as a form of healing. And this week we were going to talk about justice as a form of healing. And particularly this past week, because I represent survivors of sexual assault and in civil court, not criminal court, civil court. And this past week I had the privilege of resolving a case for a number of my clients. And, you know, full circle moment, because, you know, these cases go on for many, 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 many years. And always in the very beginning of the case, I always ask my clients, like, what would justice look like for you? And tell them this is meant to be part of your healing journey and part of the healing process. It's not intended to cause you more harm or more trauma. And in order for me to do my job, to make sure it is a healing moment and part of their healing journey, I need to know what justice looks like for you. So I will say that, you know, this week, when I got to tell my clients that their case resolved, and it was a fight they had been fighting for, oh my goodness, decades. Oof. They've been fighting this fight for decades.
Wow, Melissa.
So to see it finally come full circle and for them to get justice, I did get the opportunity to tell them over Zoom. So we were like face to face and we were looking at each other, and to see them all just kind of break down in tears, but it was happy tears.
Right.
It was like tears.
Healing tears.
Yes. It was healing tears. It's exactly what it was. So it was healing tears. It really did. And it's those moments like that that bring full circle and remind me of like why I do what I do, right, and how this is and can be a very important part of healing for survivors of sexual assault, even as long as it's done the right way, because it can also be re-traumatizing.
Absolutely.
And triggering and difficult and hard, and really a part of the process of making it part of their healing journey. I do require all my clients to be in some type of therapy. If we're going in active litigation and an active lawsuit, I tell them you have to be in some type of therapy. And it doesn't like matter what type, right? Because every different types of therapy work for different types of people. Whether it's talk therapy, massage therapy, acupuncture, Reiki.
Sure.
But it's so important to be able to do that in order to keep grounding yourself.
Right. For sure.
Through the process as you get triggered and re-trauma. It's like our not so Zen moments, right?
Absolutely. I mean,
even though they're much more minor than that, but it's like a small reminder of like getting like triggered. Like you weren't really upset about the whistleblower guy. It like was triggering.
He was very nice.
Yeah, from something else.
Deeper rooted.
Yeah.
Me wanting to burn everything down as we move through this eclipse season right now. It's like, but it was more so, the hierarchy of, it starts with American, and then it starts with the miscommunication in between. I don't know if it's pilot and air traffic control, right?
Right.
But here's the thing.
It's a spiraling.
It's a hierarchy that comes down to us, and then we're affected by the hierarchy. But the people at the very top are really not affected. They don't even know what's going on.
They have no idea.
Right. And
but how their mistake then spiraled into like affecting so many other people.
The energy of it definitely does. Now, we shared our not so Zen moments, and really people might think like, oh God, they're so, this is silly. But really, it is about the deeper rooted trigger from a more traumatic place, right? Sometimes we don't realize the little moments in our day that trigger something really deep inside, and we don't even know it. We don't even can't predict it.
No, it comes
just
out of nowhere.
shows up, right? And then all of a sudden you feel angry or sad or like, oh my God, what am I doing? So to bring it back to,
and how do you ground yourself in that moment? How do you find?
That's exactly what I'm bringing it back to.
Right. How do you find grounding? And so I do. That's why I require my clients to be in some type, any type of therapy, because litigation definitely brings stuff up to the surface that's probably been buried for a long period of time. And it can happen suddenly and it can happen unexpectedly. And this is much, much bigger traumas than our not so Zen moments we're talking about.
Of course.
And the only way to ground yourself when that trigger happens and it comes back up is through some type of guided therapy.
Absolutely. That you initiate or someone's helping you and helping you work through it. Yeah.
Yeah. And oftentimes when we're doing, like, if I'm getting a client ready for like a deposition, and I know that our sessions together are likely going to bring stuff up to the surface and it's possibly going to be triggering or re-traumatizing, I'll often say, like, it's not a bad idea to schedule like a therapy session for the next day, or a Reiki session, or if guided meditation, or whatever it might be, to then like ground yourself. Because without that grounding in between, you can just spiral.
Absolutely.
And if you keep spiraling, it can be problematic.
And so, like, the way the big T word, the trauma word, triggers, T word trigger trauma, right? Like, the way it works is we're triggered. It reminds us of a trauma. And then if we aren't grounding in the most appropriate way with a healthy version, a healthy modality of, let me face this trigger in a healthy way, then we're spiraling, as Melissa's talking about spiraling, and we're doing things that are not healthy. That might look like, overly excessively drinking, or staying up all night watching Netflix and getting no sleep. So then the next day we're more tired. It might look like, let me message an ex, and I just need to. Some people find escape in intimacy and sex, and it's like, it's not real. It's just an escape.
It's an escape.
So these unhealthy escape modalities versus the healthy coping modalities is really what we're addressing here. And so until I met Melissa, I don't know of a law firm that is offering their clients who have been through trauma this kind of support.
Yeah.
Right. And we share this because maybe you'll hear this and it'll hit for you. How am I aligned with healthy modalities of healing right now? Like, do I have a therapist? That's okay if you don't. Are you trying to incorporate journaling? Are you incorporating, do you quite simply open YouTube and just type in energy clearing sleep meditation? Because that in itself alone is free, easy, and while you sleep, your subconscious is hearing whatever sound frequencies and everything.
And it's so many programs have like even guided meditations that, like, I'm not very good at meditating.
Yeah.
But they do have programs, like, even I think Peloton has one that teaches you how to meditate. Like, it's small doses in the beginning.
Yeah. Plenty of apps too.
Right. Building up an endurance to learn how to like do it, at a more full capacity.
Yeah. I'd also like to mention, like, I feel like a lot of us are more open to this world. So you might have a friend that you're close to who is very into this world of healing. And you're like, that just sounds weird and uncomfortable, but maybe you should lean in with this friend who has access and knowledge to it, right? And like allow yourself to step into something that feels uncomfortable, but rather it's going to free you. It's going to bring so much peace to you. And I have to also say another modality of healing that we haven't mentioned is, quite frankly, your religion. I mean, whatever your religion might be, you can attend a mass, or
a
go to a
service.
synagogue, a service, like anything that speaks to your soul from a healing, peaceful, freeing place is what we're
and
like
even like
promoting
religious services and can be like a way of meditating, right? It's a time of like
Absolutely.
reflection
Absolutely.
and prayer and just sitting and being peaceful with your thoughts. That in and of itself is
it's very
meditation.
healing, very meditative, very peaceful, very healing. Yeah. So Melissa's doing amazing, amazing work. And so the synergy between
I have
passion,
amazing clients. I mean, the reason
Yes.
I'm able to do what I do is because I have clients who are so incredibly strong.
Yes.
Their resilience is just mind blowing. That it does remind me why I do what I do in an effort to, I have the ability to bring them some type of justice and to be a part of their healing journey. And a lot of times, and it doesn't always work out in their favor, I'd like to say most of the time it does. But when it does, and you have that moment and that full circle moment where they're just like, they did it, right? They stood up for themselves. They had enough courage and strength to say what was done to me was wrong, and to have the courage and strength to bring the lawsuit and be willing to tell their story, and which is the most vulnerable personal thing that has ever happened to these people, right? And to put it out there in the public and to tell strangers about it, oof, that is only reason I can do what I do is because they are so incredibly strong and courageous and resilient. I'm honored to be able to even be a small part of their journey.
Yep. And that's so beautifully stated. And it just comes from the pure passion of where we just want there to be justice for those who are not corrupt, the ones who have experienced toxicity through their life, that, there's dark and light, right? We all know there's yin and yang, and there's dark and light. And that is something we will never get rid of. We need to embrace that concept. And so your clients, for example, as I'm sharing this, are the ones that we all are the light. Everybody's the light, but the dark can take over people and create situations like a sexual assault situation where the dark meets the light, and then the light has to fight to get
and
back to their light
in order to fight.
It needs a lot of support.
Doesn't have to do it by itself.
And so the justice system can be a very vulnerable, triggering space, not because it's dangerous, but because you do have to stand really strong and tall and have a voice. And you have to regain your voice, which is something that Melissa shares with her firm. You regain your voice after a trauma because it takes a lot of strength to do that. And in order to show up in a courtroom and share, like you said, with strangers, like that is a level of strength that I think all of us listening, and thank you for who is listening for this 28-minute, even though we said it was going to be 22 minutes.
I know what happened.
But let it inspire us all to always honor our truth and speak
and support each other.
Support each other.
You have no idea what the person next to you might be going through privately. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
The person next to you getting a coffee, the person next to you buying their bananas at the grocery store, the person next to you, or rather behind you in the car.
Yeah.
Or in front of you at the red light.
Yeah.
Like
No.
everybody's moving through.
So
Yeah.
so have we checked on Claire lately?
Claire is exactly where she was the
Of
last
course she
time
is.
we left her.
She hasn't moved.
Nope.
Okay.
So yeah. So
All
that's just a reminder to everybody. Claire is a connection.
She lives in the garden.
Lives in the Zen, not so Zen, but Zen garden. And my mom's mother, my grandmother, is Claire.
Oh, happy birthday, Robin.
I know, this is a shout out to her because it's
Love
September
you.
14th and it's Sunday. But it's Robin. It's my mama's birthday. So she turned 68 today. And so Grandma Claire
Yay.
birthed my mom into this world. And so the St. Clair card was given to me.
Wow. This is a full circle moment.
It is a full circle moment because here we are. And so St. Clair she's hanging on, and she wants all of us who might feel, this is what I think St. Clair is sharing right now. I'm actually getting a little download from St. Clair.
Okay.
She would like to share that everybody and anybody who feels that they're going through moments in their life that are feeling in lack or difficult. The word is poverty, but it's a poverty, not from a financial sense, but poverty from a sense of like, why am I feeling this void? Something's missing. Thank you for saying that. And so St. Clair just wants you to know that she's in full support of you, and, maybe just call upon her and she will be beside you. And she's really just sticking around because she wants to support all of us on this journey of finding peace and love and happiness and abundance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Well, thanks for joining us for episode 3. Peace out.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Not So Zen. Stay connected with us on Instagram at Not So Zen Pod for real life updates on our eternally unfinished Zen garden. And drop us a note anytime at notsozenpod@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow the show, and remember, perfection is overrated. Just ask our garden.